Okay, so today last part of the session. So first I will show you Azure Data Factory, how to load the data through the Azure Data Factory, and then we will discuss about the some other points, and then we'll basically stop the session. Okay, so Azure Data Factory is nothing but like it's an product or it's some services that you can take from the Azure. So generally, by it's a kind of ETL tool type of basically option by which you can schedule different job one by one, and you can connect it with the Snowflake, and you can load the data from the Azure portal to basically into the Snowflake table. Okay, so let's go to the storage account which we created in the last class. Uh, in that storage account, we'll go to the basically the container option, and I'll create a container here. Let me create. Mm, so let's say ADF. This is the container name I'm providing, and let's create. Okay, so this is the ADF container. In this container, what I'll do, I'll go for the upload option, and I'll be uploading some files here. So let me upload here. So for an example, let's mm, not this one. One second. Let me check the file first, and let's come back. One second. So let me go for the browse. Just a minute. Mm, okay. Uh, just a minute. Okay, so you can see I have loaded one file customer.csv file into this basically in the ADF container. So what I did in the storage account, I went to the container section. I created one container, like I created last day files and pipe, all those things. Similarly, I created one container called ADF as well. Okay, so in that container, what I did, I loaded one's customer.csv files. Okay, so now what I will do, I will load this file from basically this Azure portal to Snowflake. Okay, by using this Azure Data Factory option. Okay, so what I will do, I will go to the home section. Here I'll click on the plus create a resource option, and here I will write Data Factory. Okay, so if I write here Data Factory, I'll get this Azure Data Factory option. This Data Factory option we will getting, and from there, what I need to do, I need to go for the create option, and we'll click on the Data Factory. So it will basically create our Data Factory here. So let it start. Okay, so it's a free trial and resource group already we created in our last session. So that same resource group we are using. Name you have to use, for an example, let's say ADF01 B630, like that. I'm giving a simple name, but this should be unique. So that's the reason I'm trying to give a unique name and go for the next option. So these are all the as it is we will be keeping, like encryption and all the part, and let it validate. Okay, meanwhile, let it do. Meanwhile, we'll go to the Snowflake site. I'll create a database called Azure Data Factory. Okay, and then basically I need to create the tables and all. So first of all, I will be creating one customer table. So you can see this is the customer table. And also I'm creating one raw customer data table. Both the table I'm creating here. Let me create the table. Okay. One table I'm creating with the customer, another table I'm creating raw customer data table. Okay. And along with that, I'm creating one procedure. This is the SQL procedure. We already have seen the how to load the data through the JavaScript procedure. Now this is the SQL procedure. What I'm doing here, create or replace procedure, load data, returns integer and language SQL, all those things. And first, it will truncate the raw customer data table, and then it will load the data into the raw customer data table from the file. That is what it will do. So I'm creating this procedure as well in this public schema. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll show you. So let me go to the here and let it create. So you can see your data factory is getting created. Deployment is in progress. So your Azure Data Factory, which is the ETL option, which works only with the Azure. So let's go to the resource. So either you can go like this way or you can go to home. Here the Azure Data Factory got created. And if you go to the resource group, this is the resource group that we created. If you go here, you will be able to see that all the resources has been grouped into the resource group or storage account, Azure Data Factory, Event Grid. We registered that one. So all the resources will be grouped together inside the resource group. That's the reason the resource group concept comes here. So we will go to the Azure Data Factory option here. So let me go here. And what I will do, I will click on the Launch Studio. So let me launch it. Okay, so we reached to this Azure Data Factory, and now here, basically, we will be creating the different activities here. So first of all, we'll go to the author section and we'll click on the plus sign, and we'll create a pipeline here. So let me create a pipeline. Okay, and from here, what I will, a lot of options are there. So let me go to the general section, and what we will do, we will take the script here. So let me take two script here, close it. This one also I want to close. So now what is the, what is the situation here? I have two script here. So these are all the basically see in the, if you have worked in the SSIS or somewhere, so you might be having seen that first step. This one is the first step. If it is completed, then it will go to the next step. Okay, like that. Similarly, if you create any other script, then that can come to the another script, or from here you can add another script, or like that. So basically this type of data pipeline you can create by using the ADF. So it can transform your data. Like first you load the data to a table, from there you transform the data and load into another table, like that you can do. I'll show you how to do that. So let's say first the basically load to raw stage. Let's say first one is this one. Then this one I will give the name as a load. Load to customer. Let's say like that. I'm giving the name. Okay. Now what does it mean? So first I'll click on this script option. This is one. Then I'll go to the settings option. Now first we need to create a linked service. So what type of linked service we will be creating? Basically we are connecting with the Snowflake, right? So that's the reason what I need to do. I need to create a linked service with the Snowflake. So if I click here, no record found, I'll go for the plus new option. See here, basically either you can do from here or you can directly go here in this manage section, and from here you can create links. So this is the manage section. This is the linked service options. You can click on the plus new. Here you can write here Snowflake. So you can see this is the Snowflake, and we'll click on the continue option. This is the basically name. You can give any name here. You can give description here. Now linked service in this is nothing but like which basically you are connecting the Snowflake environment with the ADF. That is what you are doing. Okay. So let me create. Before that, we'll go to the connection. Okay, connect via integration runtime. So here we will be writing this one, and this one will be the account name, database name, all those things. Okay, so first of all, account name. So I'll go here and okay, 1 second. Not this one. Now let's say this one was my account. Now let me 1 second. Let me log into the account. You can see this is my account and this is my account. Okay, so this part will be your account ID. So let me take this one, as I already have shown you this thing earlier. So we'll copy that account name here. Database name. What is the database name? We created this database. So this is the database name. Which database you want to connect? So that database name you have to mention here. Warehouse. Which warehouse you want to connect? So do you have any warehouse? No. So I'll go and I'll create a warehouse here. Let me create a warehouse first. It is there, right? W1 warehouse we already created. So let me go to the SQL. Let me come to the account admin. And let's create this one again. Okay, as an account admin, you have this one. You can see W1. So we'll write here W1. Okay. Fine. And then authentication type is basic. We'll keep it as it is. Username. What is the username of your account? Admin2. Okay. And what is the password of your account? So I'm writing the password name here. Okay. And which role you want to use? This is not mandatory, but still you can mention, or you can leave it as well. Okay. We'll test connection. So connection successful will create. So again, I'm repeating, this is the linked service. We are connecting with ADF with the Snowflake. So you can see these are all details you have to mention here. Account name, database, warehouse, user ID, password, and then go for the create option. So you can see this one has been created here. Okay, now again I'll go to the author section, and let me close it. And you can see I will click on the plus script sign. We'll go to the settings option, and now here if you check, you will be getting that link service available. So I'll select that link service here. Now basically it is asking whether you want to, what type of things you want to do, like either you want to go for the query option or non-query option, what you want to write. So basically what I will do here, I will be taking see non-query in the sense which is not returning any value. That means like insert, update, delete, this type of things if you want to write, you can include in the non-query. And in the query is which is returning something, return one or more results set. That is what we call query. Okay, before going into that part, so another thing we have to do, like because we will be doing it through the procedure, and that procedure will actually load the data from the stage, and that's the reason connection related activity also you have to complete. Connection related activity in the sense like what we did in the last class, we have to create the storage integration. So those part also has to be completed. So generally let me complete those steps also. So first of all, what I need, I will be creating the storage integration. I need the tenant ID and I need the allowed location. So I'll go to the Azure section here, Microsoft Entra ID, and let me copy the tenant ID from here, and we will be pasting here, right? Step we already completed last day. And according to that, let's say go to the home and we'll go to the storage account and we'll copy the storage account name, right? This is what I need to do. Let me go here. This is the storage account name. Let me copy the storage account name. And let's come here. So as I told you, Azure colon double slash, the first part will be storage account, then blob.code.windows.net will be as it is, then it will be your container name. So I'm writing here ADF. So let's execute. Let's execute. So your Azure storage integration object created. Now I will be going for the describing integration Azure underscore int, and you can see, as I told you, line number 5 and line number 6 is line number 6 and line number 7, these two basically component that are provided by the Snowflake. So first I will click on the link whatever they have provided here. So let's click on the link URL basically. So this is exactly same what I did yesterday. We already have seen the connection related information, like how to set up the connection. You can see already that consent has been provided. That's the reason that consent option did not came. Now I will be clicking on the this part. Okay, now next one. This is the app name, multi-tenant app name. For this value, I copied that part. This one also we have seen yesterday. Now we'll go here I'll go to access control IAM. We'll go to the role assignment. We'll click on the plus role assignment sign. And here we will be choosing the blob storage data contributor. Let me write here blob. Today Azure portal is getting little slow. So storage blob data contributor, we'll go to the next. We'll select the members option, right? And we'll paste that part, whatever we have copied from there, and we'll click on it. We'll select, we'll go to next, and we'll click on the review and assign. Okay. So it is what happened? Okay, this one is already exist because we created already this one last day. So that's the reason you can see this is already exist. So no need to do anything here. So directly we will go to the basically the Snowflake site, and here what I'll do, I'll create the file format. This one is needed, file format, which type of files you are loading. For that reason, we'll click on the file format, and then we'll go for the basically stage creation. So for stage creation, I need the same way. I need the basically this one. URL should be Azure : then the storage account name blob.code.windows.net as it is, and here the container name, and create the stage. So what I did here, so simply I'm recollecting all the things. I created the table here. I set up the connection. Already the connection was set up. I created the table, customer table here, and raw customer data table here. Then I created the stage. Then I created the file format. These are all things we completed. Okay. Now what I will do, if I check my stage, let me check. So it should be showing here the files. So let's see what happening here. You can see the customer.csv file we are able to see. Now what I will do by using this basically load data procedure, I will be loading the data to the raw customer data table. But this procedure I will be calling through the Azure Data Factory. So let's copy this one. We'll go to the Azure Data Factory. Here I clicked on the first load raw stage. This is the data script by which we will be loading the data to the raw customer data table. So that is what I'm doing here. In the query, I will be selecting query, and I will write here the load data, call load data procedure. I'll call from here. Okay, that is one thing. Once it is successfully done, then we'll go to the second script. Here also I'll go to the settings option, and here also I will be selecting the Snowflake connector. And here what I will do, I want whenever the data will be loaded to the raw customer data table, then I want from here the data will move to the basically from here. Here that right now no data is there. I want from here data will move to the customer table. So that's the reason what I will do here. I will write here one insert statement, insert into customer, select start from raw customer data, where let's say I want location is equal to, let's say, only only Chennai data will be loaded, like that I want. So if I execute, no active warehouse is selected. Let me select the warehouse. Now if I execute, you can see, so number of rows inserted 0, because as of now no table, both the table doesn't have any value. If you go to the raw customer data table, we don't have any value. If you go to the customer table, we don't have any value. So that's the reason. So what I will do, I will copy this insert statement, and I will paste here in the non-query, and here. Okay. So this script will load the data to the raw customer data table. Once it is done, it will start the next one, and it will load the data to the basically customer table. So this is the way basically you can create the ETL options through the ADF. Okay, so that is the reason we use the ADF. We'll click on the plus publishing option. We'll click on the publish, and we'll go for the publish option. Okay. So it is publishing now. It's published. Now you can run this one. So to run this, you have to click on the add trigger. Either you can trigger now or you can schedule it. So if you want to create a schedule, you can create a schedule option. Like when you want to schedule, at what time you want to schedule, all those things you can mention here. This is the job scheduling. If you have worked in any ETL type of thing like SQL Server, SSIS and all, then you must know that basically this is the way basically we creates the ETL options, right? So let me trigger it now, and let me click on the OK. So now it is running. If you want to monitor all those things, whatever is happening, you can click on the monitor section. Your file, whatever data is getting loaded and all those things, basically it will be showing here. The status is in progress. If you refresh here, if it is error is coming, that error will be showing, or this type of things will be happening. If you go here, I will check the raw customer data table, whether the data got loaded or not. Still now the data not loaded. So let it load the data. First, it will get the data to the raw customer data table, and second, it will get the data to the customer table. That is what will happen. As of now, no data loaded. So let me go to the IDF. You can see run succeeded. Okay, let me refresh again. You can see it is succeeded, the data loading. Then why the data has not loaded? Let me check it first. Unload function. 1 second. I did not create it. Let me go to the here again and trigger it now again. Okay. So again, go to the monitor section. You can see it is in progress. Now you can see the data got loaded here. Okay. Now by using the first task, this one, by using the first task, the data got loaded to the raw customer data table. Now by using the second task, the data gets loaded to the customer table. So let me show you. You can see the data gets loaded to the customer table, only Chennai data. So this is the way basically you can do some ETL related stuff from the IDA, because Snowflake does not have this type of option available. Like you cannot schedule the jobs, and basically by using that you cannot do those stuff. That's the reason this type of ETL tool we can use through the with integrating with the Snowflake, and we can work on it. Okay, so just you have to connect with Snowflake, and however whatever you are doing, like basically whatever you want to do, that you can perform. Like if you have written any procedure inside the Snowflake, that you can call directly through the ETL tool, and you can load the data through the ETL tool. So this is the way, and this way will help you to basically improve the pipeline system. Here you can create another script, and that script you can load with that one. If that one is failed, then what will happen, that you can do. Let's say I created another script here, and that will be, let's say I created another script here, and that I want to do, like if it is failed, then I want this script to be executed. Or let's say I want to send some email and all to all the people, like that. So those type of script we can write here. So this is the way generally we can create the setup through the ADF. Okay, fine. Next is basically I'll just read. I will provide this document. You guys can read. All the topics has been covered, but just I'm just summarizing. So if anybody asks you like how will you improve the performance in case of Snowflake, like as we know already, Snowflake automatically handles these things, but still we have some performance improvement things in our hand as well. So those part we need to check. Okay, so what is that improvement tips we can go through? Like first of all, use the first point is use a separate warehouse. Use a separate warehouse in the sense, let's say for an example, in your organization you have three different teams. Now each team basically using their each team doing their own stuff, right? First team, maybe one team is basically working as a data loading or data transforming and all those things. Another team is working as a data analytics, maybe data engineer. So those type of different teams are there. So the main motivation is basically to provide them the separate virtual warehouse, because if you provide them the separate virtual warehouse, then each team's activity will not overhead to other teams activity. So that is the reason basically. And also remember that each team does not need basically same type of virtual warehouses, because maybe one team need a smaller size of virtual warehouses, or other team need the bigger size of so each team's requirement is different, and according to their requirement you should provide them the separate virtual warehouse. So in your organization, whatever teams are there, developer, maybe data engineer, maybe data analyst, data scientist, so according to their requirement, how much complex queries they are writing and how much complex activity they are doing every day, according to that basically you have to provide the separate virtual warehouses to them, so that they should not be overlapping each other's virtual warehouses, and they should not be creating much overhead on the virtual warehouses. So that's the reason separate virtual warehouses will be provided to the separate team. That is one tips that you can improve your query performance, or you can improve your activities performance. So that can be data load, that can be analyzing, so anything. Second one is scale up, scale out. So scale up, scale out. What does it mean? So as I already told you, that virtual warehouses are the collection of servers. So if you have a X small size of virtual warehouse, that will be having only one servers. If you have the small, that will be having two servers. If you have the medium, that will be having four servers. If you have the large, that will be having eight servers, like that. Now, basically, you have to choose appropriate size of the virtual warehouses. So basically, so basically, if you have increased the size of the virtual warehouse, it will be running your complex queries with basically more comfortably, right? So that is the reason. Like you have to choose the appropriate size for the appropriate query. Like if any query is running if any complex queries you are running, generally you have to choose a bigger size of virtual warehouses, so that it can be executed within a shorter period of time. You are running a much complex queries, and you are giving a small size of virtual warehouse. In that case it will take a long time, and that's the reason generally we should be choosing the appropriate size. Now this size choosing will not come as it is, like whenever we will be basically do some R&D, and first we will be choosing the minimum one, then we'll go one step ahead, like that we will do some checking, and which one is the providing you the good performance, that type of virtual warehouses we will be fixing up for that type of team. And that's the reason basically you have to do some analysis on the size, that which size is best suitable for this type of queries and all. So this is what we call scale up, scale down. Increasing the size, we call it as a scale up. Decreasing the size is call it as a scale down. So basically scale up will always improve the performance. At the same time, if you are handling the multiple users or concurrency users, so basically you should be selecting multi-cluster virtual warehouses. We already have discussed this thing also, that multi-cluster virtual warehouses will help you to basically at the same time, if you have multiple queries, multiple users coming up and executing their queries on the server. Basically, in those cases, we should be handling those part with the basically your scale out and scale in option. That means adding more number of clusters to your virtual warehouse, and whenever the load is high, it should be automatically adding the more number of clusters. When the basically your this one is load is very less, then one by one clusters will be shut down and will go for the scale in, right? So that is the concurrency control will do with the scale out, scale in, and that is automated process. But yeah, we should create the multi-cluster virtual warehouse in those cases. Next one is the maximum utilization of the cache. So like whenever we have three type of cache, like results cache, warehouse cache, database storage we have. Now we have another cache is metadata cache. So metadata cache is nothing about the performance related thing. Metadata cache is only containing the stats information. Now results cache and warehouse cache is there. Now whenever you are writing results cache in the cloud layer, warehouse cache in the basically warehouse layer. Now if you are here, we users are sitting here. Now whenever we are writing any query, that comes to the cloud layer, and from the cloud layer itself it is getting record. If they are getting record, then very shorter period of time they will get the results of the record set. That's the reason it is recommended we should be always try to increase the utilization of the results cache. Okay, so that is the reason we always should increase the utilization of the results cache. If the data is not available in the results cache, we should be using like it should be using the or we should try to use the virtual warehouse cache as well. So that's the reason it is saying like maximize the cache uses. If you are using the as much as you can, like if you are using this cache and you are not fetching the data from the database storage, then your query performance always will be improved, right? We already have seen this with practical in my classes. Next one is the select required columns only, because as you know, this Snowflake follows the columnar storage pattern. I already discussed this thing in the micro partition class. So basically, we always follow the basically what I can say like columnar storage, and that's the reason if you are selecting only, if you are writing only selective columns in your query, then that many blocks will be scanned, not all the blocks, right? So that is the reason it is recommended that unwanted columns you should not be taking in your query. You should take only selected columns which is needed for the query purpose. So that is the reason. Now, point number 5 is keep scanning files. So I told you that if I use the pattern clause, it always hampers, or it always degrades the performance. Why? Let's say you have writing a copy statement like this way: copy into table from the staging pattern is equal to this. If you are writing this statement, so it will not perform well. Why? Because let's say in this stage environment we have 5 files, or maybe you have 10 files. In that 10 files, some files is the JSON file, some is the Parquet file, some is the Avro file, some is the ORC file, and some is the CSV files. Now what will happen, like whenever I load the data into the table from this stage, basically, and pattern is equal to .csv means internally Snowflake scan the entire stage, when all the files will be scanned. Whether first file it will scan, whether it is CSV, no, okay, fine, leave it. Then next one, it is CSV, okay, leave it. Then third one, it's CSV, yes, load it. Now fourth one, it is CSV, yes, load it. Fifth one, it is not CSV, okay, then leave it. So each and every file will be scanned to satisfy this condition pattern, and that takes the extra time. That's the reason it is recommended that in the same folder we should not be keeping all the files. So you can see that this type of statement you can write in the stage environment. You can create separate folders, and that folders you can mention, and basically in that case it will improve little bit your performance. But if you are removing this pattern clause completely, and which file you want to load, that you mention here, that will give you the best performance, because here we don't need to check anything. Directly we are providing the file name, and that file name basically simple thing, that file, whatever file name you are provided, that directly will load. So there is no checking option, and that's the reason basically this type of copy statement will perform faster way. That's the reason it is asking skip scanning file. So scanning file will be skipped, like if you can skip that, but always this is not possible, like based on your structure, like we use the pattern clause, but still we should like avoid in improving this, we should avoid including this type of options in our copy statement. Okay. Next one is the materialized view and cluster key utilization. This thing also we have understood, like materialized view, how it improves the performance, because materialized view automatically it is a pre-computed data. Like if any query is taking longer time and it is using the repeatedly, then that query I can create a materialized view on top of that query, and going forward I can use the materialized view, because that query record set will be permanently stored in the storage as the materialized view data, and that's the reason this type of query will improve the performance with the materialized view. Okay, that is one thing. And cluster key utilization is also a part of improving the performance, because if you using the cluster key, generally it will be basically enabling the reclustering option. And if you are using the reclustering option, generally it will be basically organize the data into the micro partition, and it will help you to improve the performance. I'll share this document. So these are all the different performance related tips that you can handle while, and you can take care while you are working real time in your project. Fine. And one last thing, like there is a certification related part. So you have to go to the Snowflake certification page, like this one, learn.snowflake.com, EN and certification. So these are all the list of certifications available in Snowflake. Like you can see here. First of all, you have to go with the SnowPro core certification. This is the first option that you have to pursue. So without doing this certification, you cannot go for the advanced level certification. So this is the first one. So you can go with the SnowPro certification. This is the core certification. Along with that, you can once you completed this certification, then after that, if you get some opportunity to work in Snowflake in your organization, then you can start doing the advanced level of certification. We have different advanced level of certification available. Like you can go with the architect level. Okay, then you can go with the basically data engineer level, data scientist level. Okay, then you can go with the, you can say administrator level, then you can data analyst level. These are all the 5 options. These are the 5 6 options are available here. These are all advanced certification. Okay, you can see these are all advanced certification. Like here it is written advanced. So these are all advanced certification. Now first you complete the SnowPro. So actually from the Snowflake side, it is recommended that first you complete the SnowPro course certification, then work for 2 years at least. And after that, whatever experience you gain, after that you will be having a clear picture that in which domain you want to uh, take your career. Like either you want to be a architect of Snowflake, or you want to be a admin, or you want to work as a data engineer, data analyst. So basically in that way you can go to the certifications part. Okay, so that is what you can do. And each and every certification, if you click on those certification, let's say I'm clicking on this, now you can click on the register now. So whenever you will click on the register now, so first you have to register yourself in this certification part, and then you have to basically do that thing. So you can see 6 month experience should you have, practical experience, then they are asking you to go to the course certification. But as of now, whatever you have learned, you will be easily completes the certification exam, no issue. Okay, so and I'll be sharing my some of the dumps as well. So these are all the things is there with the certification questions. Snowflake Cloud Data Architecture 25% question, security 20% question, performance concept 15%, data loading unloading 10%, data transformation 20%, data protection, data sharing 10%. So all the topics has been covered in my session. Like This is the time travel, data sharing covered, data transformation stream, and all this is covered. Data unloading covered, performance concept today we covered. Performance concept concludes all the things. Account access security we covered, like how basically we can create the row level security, column level securities. Then Snowflake Cloud data features and architecture also has been covered. So like easily you should be answering all those questions, but still you need the practice, because whatever classes you have completed in that session, basically you have listened the recordings, you have did some practical, but you did not read something. So I'll share some dumps, so you go through all the questions and then you go for attempting the certification exam. Go for the registration, and there you can basically sorry, you can register the certification exam, and you can go for the exam in the Snowflake site. Okay. Fine. So that's all from my side. No topics, no part has been basically pending. So it will be last session today. So fine. Any question, any doubt?
No, thank you.
Yeah. So that's all. Will all the best for your future. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
The meeting has ended. Thank you for joining. Goodbye.